Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with more Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is episode 4. Last time, it was the first episode of the series where I didn't wear this shirt. And of course, that was when Io from the Dora Milaje showed up. And her and Wakanda are after Bucky for the murder of T'Chaka. So we'll see how that works out between her and Bucky. Maybe Bucky can work out a deal where they finish going after the Flag Smashers before handing over Zemo back to Wakanda, or yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited to continue. Very, very happy for this crossover. And yeah, leave a like, really helps with the channel. Full reactions on Patreon in the link in the description below. And let's get started. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh.
Желание. J'avoue, cruzavoj Falcon.
Oh.
You are free.
And reborn as the White Wolf. Hi.
How could you free him? Zemo murdered our King T'Chaka at the UN.
And
Icona ento ekufune ke fizikila ngaya.
8 hours, White Wolf. Then we come for him.
I don't think we can finish what we need to do in 8 hours.
Carly bombed a GRC supply depot.
What? She's just a kid.
You're seeing something in her that isn't there. You're
She's
clouded by it.
just a kid.
She's a supremacist. It's that warped aspiration that led to Nazis, to Ultron, to the Avengers.
Hey, those are friends you're talking about.
The Avengers, not the Nazis.
So Carly is radical. There has to be a peaceful way to stop her.
The desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacist ideals.
Maybe the serum never corrupted Steve.
Touché. But there has never been another Steve Rogers, has there? Turkish delight.
Ooh,
Irresistible.
they're pretty good.
You heard of Donya Madani?
No. Sir, no.
They're alerting people of your presence.
The Global Repatriation Council promised to send more teachers, supplies. That was 6 months ago.
My old friend, Donya, passed away. I would like to pay my last respects.
The hell is he doing?
Recon.
Do you see these men there?
He's a spy. What?
They're very bad. Not to be trusted.
For 5 years, people have been welcomed into countries that have kept them out using barbed wire. It wasn't just one community coming together, it was the entire world coming together.
You really think her ants justify her means? Then she's no different than him or anybody else we fought.
She's different. She's not motivated by the same things.
Keep talking.
Leaving you to turn on me once we get to Carly. I prefer to keep my leverage.
Don't engage him. He's just gonna extort you and do that stupid head tilt thing.
Stupid head tilt. You straighten his head.
Carl.
I never noticed that.
Some cherry blossom tea.
I may or may not have access to a satellite or two. Let me see what I can
A
do.
satellite or two.
Thank you.
And all the while, you have John Walker and Battlestar tracking Bucky and Sam, too. Whoa. That's where the serum is?
I was actually a Captain America fan. He made me believe that there was decent people in this world. I didn't think there could be another Captain America until I met you.
Wow.
The world's more complicated now. People are lost. They need a leader who looks like them. Today's heroes don't have the luxury of keeping their hands clean.
You can start by telling us why you broke him out of prison.
He did that himself, technically.
Oh, this better be
Technically.
an unbelievable explanation.
Take it easy before it gets weird.
Weird.
I know where Carly is.
Good, we'll move in fast. Take her by surprise.
No, I want to talk to her alone.
I think we're way past reasoning with her, unless you forgot the fact that she blew up a building with people still in it.
If you can talk her down, might be worth a try.
Wow.
This is for your family.
Wow.
Can you show us the way?
What the hell? Hey, you got 10 minutes,
Really?
and we're doing things my way.
Aggressive.
Aggressive.
They impose struggle and hardship on us, but the struggle is what brings us all together. People who have nothing in common, for we are, after all, simply one world and one people.
What's wrong with him?
I came alone. I just want to talk.
Bold of you.
It doesn't have to be a war, Carly.
They started a war as soon as they kicked us out of our new homes and onto the street. People all around the world need me, millions of them. What if I'm making the world a better place?
It's not a better place if you're killing people. It's just different.
You're either brilliant or just hopelessly optimistic.
No. This is a bad idea.
It hasn't been 10 minutes, John, just sit tight.
He's gonna ruin it. Even if Sam gets through to her, he's gonna ruin it. Oh, fuck.
Going in. Your partner needs backup in there. Do you really want his blood on your hands?
Everything I do is to end supremacy. These corporations and the beasts who run them, they're the supremacists.
You're killing innocent people.
They're not innocent. They're roadblocks in my journey and I kill them
Oh
again
my
first.
god. Wow. Yeah,
No, I
wow.
didn't mean it like that. You tricked me into sounding like...
Like what?
I agree with your fight. I just can't give it the way you're fighting it.
Carly Morgenthau, you're under arrest.
Oh, come on. Damn it. Damn it. Wait, how do you... of course he could, but... Ugh. What's he gonna do now? Oh. Zemo went after her, and he's a spy. He analyzed the exit. Oh, damn.
Is this what I think it is?
Oh my god. Whoa! Was that all of them? Oh, damn it. John. John.
It's the power broker.
Power broker. Oh,
Quite
wait.
revolutionary on borrowed time. It'll go.
Were you ever offered it? The serum?
No.
Would you have taken it?
No.
No hesitation. You can't hold out hope for Carly. No matter what you saw in her, she's gone. Super soldiers cannot be allowed to exist.
Isn't that how gods talk? And if that's how you feel, what about Bucky? Blood isn't always the solution.
I'm now ordering you to turn him over.
Hey, slow your roll. Man, let's be clear. Shield or no shield, the only thing you're running in here is your mouth. Now, I had Carly and you overstepped.
Should I put down the shield? Make it fair?
Oh. Oh. The 8 hours are up.
Hi, John Walker.
Take him down.
Well, let's put down the pointy sticks, and we can talk this through, huh?
Pointy sticks.
Take it easy.
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Oh. You just hear drinking.
We should do something.
We
Looking
should.
strong, John.
He's just gonna leave. He's just gonna leave. What? That was disarming.
Bust damn you, James.
Oh.
Leave it.
You're right back.
He's gonna take that serum.
They weren't even super soldier.
They picked the most unstable guy to be Captain America.
I can't believe you pulled in El Chapo.
I can. If you had the chance to take the serum, would you do it?
Hells yeah.
You wouldn't be worried about how it might change you.
Power just makes a person more of themselves, right?
The things that we had to do in Afghanistan, be awarded those medals felt a long way from being right. Being capped is the first time I've had the chance to do something that actually feels right.
God, imagine how many lives we could have saved that day if we had that serum.
Oh.
Hello?
You blew my cover.
This is Sarah. Yeah, who's this? My name is
Oh,
Carly
shoot.
Morgan. I'm trying to figure out if I need to kill your brother.
Jeez.
Then it turns out he's working for your new Captain America.
I didn't choose him.
Who would you have chosen instead?
My world doesn't matter to America. So why should I care about its mascot?
Oof.
I need to meet with Sam, alone.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, I can always meet with you and AJ and Lil Cass there.
Look, I love you. I'll never let anything happen to you and the boys. You know that. Okay.
Man.
She said, come along.
I'm coming with you.
Call my sister? That's how we gonna play this?
Sam, I would never hurt her. I just wanted to understand you better. I don't want to hurt you. You're just a tool in the regimes I'm looking to destroy. You're not hiding behind a shield. If I were to kill you, it'd be meaningless.
Oh. Did he take it? Lamar. They took Lamar? Ow.
Time up.
Whoa. Oh.
What'd you do?
They've got Lamar.
Oh, we get to see some Bucky knife action. Oh! Oh, wow. Oh. No. Oh, jeez. He's just knocked out, right?
Hey.
Oh, damn, he's dead. The supervillain landing. Oh, come on. This is the Captain America fan, too. No. Oh my god. Oh, oh, son of a... Jeez. The blood-stained shield. What an image. What an image. Is the US government gonna try and spin that somehow, or suppress that? Or is it time to take away the shield? Either way, he's a super soldier. And Zemo's out there somewhere. So, John Walker. Oh, we're taking that shield back, right? Oh, what an image to end the episode on, though. The blood-soaked shield. And I think to talk about how I feel about John Walker, I do need to talk about how I view the Flag Smashers. We continue to learn more about the plights of people who have been displaced in this universe, and it's far worse than I had been led to believe. And there's clearly some good in Carly, and I was sympathetic to her cause, but I resisted being sympathetic to her and the rest of the Flag Smashers because of their killing of innocents. And I mean, her line about not wanting to hurt Sam because he's just a tool, that didn't stop her from killing the people at the GRC compound. And I think the only reason she didn't try to kill Sam was because she thought that he could be of use to her. And I do think the line from the beginning of the series about how the Flag Smashers wanted to go back to the way it was before definitely colored my initial view of them a lot. When I heard it, I couldn't help but think like they want to go back to when half the world was dead. And I think the show purposefully left it kind of vague as to what they meant until this episode. Sam and Bucky had a conversation that paints the picture of a time when borders started fading away and more of the world was coming together to get past this collective trauma. And Carly seems to be wanting to get back to that, get back to this more globalist society and look out for everybody. And if her views had been framed that way from the start, I think I would have been immediately sympathetic to her, but still been against the worst of her actions. And it's definitely a choice the writers and directors made to show her brutality before trying to get us to feel for her rather than the other way around. But yeah, I'm coming around to her as a person, but not to her methods. I think both can be true. And even though she's done a lot of bad, I think she can still be redeemed if she wants to be. She obviously does a lot of good for a lot of people as well. And the situation for those who were displaced, like I mentioned before, is much worse than I originally thought. And all this to say that I think she and the other flag smashers, I mentioned before that I think they lack compassion for people outside of their own circle, but their primary driving force is compassion. So if she and the other flag smashers could see their violence is in all likelihood making it even more difficult to get back to this more globalist, united world, and if they can see that the people they've attacked and killed were not their enemies, but actual people who were trying to do what was right, there's still hope for them to change their ways. They still need to be something needs to happen to them in forms of justice for killing those innocent people. But I mean, they even heard on TV that in response to their actions, the GRC is now proposing legislation that accelerates the return to normalcy. So it's counterproductive what they're doing. So what they're doing isn't working, and it feels like they want to continue escalating violence anyway. So I don't know. I think this episode could have been a turning point if Lamar hadn't been killed. If I think it was Carly who wound up killing Lamar. And if Sam could finish that conversation with Carly, I think there might have been a chance. But now it's going to be a lot more difficult. And that brings me back to John Walker, because I mentioned before, compassion is the driving force for Carly and the Flag Smashers. But what is the primary force driving John Walker? Because there's good in him too, as much as we dislike him. Lamar told him to imagine how many more people they could have saved in Afghanistan if they had the super soldier serum. And that was clearly one of the things that pushed John Walker to take that serum. So honestly, compassion might be his driving force as well. He said he felt like he was finally doing good for the first time as Captain America, because he did a lot of stuff that felt really, really wrong in Afghanistan. So he's clearly unstable. And I'm wondering if the show will touch on if PTSD, if it's PTSD that made him so on edge, and if it's what drove him to intense violence against this person who didn't even kill Lamar. And I think his big issue is that he allowed himself to gain this big ego because he was made into Cap, and he killed that Flag Smasher as he was begging for his life. And that Flag Smasher was someone who looked up to Captain America, wound up being killed by his shield. That's really screwed up. And yeah, when John Walker and Lamar were talking, part of me wished that John would give the serum to Lamar rather than himself, but I knew that was never going to happen, because I think the show does a good job showing characters as three-dimensional people who are all trying to do good but are flawed in some way. Bucky points out that Carly has a Machiavellian, like the ends justify the means point of view. Sam argued that she's different from Zemo and other villains that they faced in the past. And the flaw with John Walker is that he has such an ego. And despite being reminded of the fact that power makes you more of who you are, he thinks so much of himself that he thinks, oh, that's a great idea, like more of who I am, and gives himself the last vial of the serum. And yeah, that big flaw is what each of these flaws make these people do something that is counterproductive to who they want to be and what their driving forces are. And speaking of that thought, though, Lamar's words of power allowing them to be more of themselves, it amplifies their flaws as well, obviously. The thing is, I think Sam should know that the serum, the additional power, just makes you more of who you are, given how close he was with Steve and what Dr. Erskine said to Steve before he took the serum. And yet when Zemo asked Sam if Sam would take the serum, he immediately said no. Does that mean that there's some level of doubt about his own moral compass? Or are there thoughts within him that he's not comfortable with? I can understand there's a lot of hatred for the way American society is run and the way it treats black people. So maybe that affected him and makes him not want to be part of that. And I don't know. I guess the fact that he gave away the shield might also be a sign of this lack of trust in himself. But he's also, or he doesn't feel like he measures up to Captain America, but he's measuring himself against the legend. Like, before Cap was Cap, he was just Steve Rogers, just a good, normal guy who put one foot in front of the other and tried to make the right decisions along the way. And the serum allowed him to be more and do more, and it could be the same for Sam as well. But I don't know, he doesn't feel comfortable doing that. And what actually might be an even bigger issue for Sam is the fact that this serum was derived from what was essentially the torture and imprisonment of Isaiah Bradley. So Isaiah was put in prison, experimented on without his consent. How could Sam take the serum when it was born from the pain of someone who did so much good and was punished for it because he was black? There's going to be so much inner turmoil if he took that serum. And I mean, that makes it such a much more complicated moral choice. And there's also the consideration, though, that there's a limited supply of serum. And if Sam had the opportunity to take it and didn't, someone else less worthy would wind up taking it. So, yeah, it's a complicated issue for sure. I can understand Sam not wanting to take it, though. Loved seeing the Dora Milaje at work this episode, and opening on Bucky's time in Wakanda was great. Very emotional seeing him get to his freedom after being deprogrammed. That fight with John Walker, showing up for Zemo, and the Dora Milaje showing up for Zemo. Zemo was just drinking, and Sam and Bucky were just watching. That was really funny. And yeah, Sam and Bucky basically just stepped in to stop the Dora Milaje from beating John and Lamar's ass too hard. But yeah, even though even though the Dora Milaje weren't super soldiers, still defeated John Walker and Lamar rather easily. And everything was just pointing towards John taking that serum for himself. The way Io disarmed Bucky, there was that look of, it almost looked like betrayal on his face. Like he felt like this was given to him, and it never occurred to him that it could be taken away like that. The fact that they built in a failsafe for the Wakandans to take it off, that must have really, really felt really bad. But they did leave both pieces of vibranium, the arm and the shield, with their current owners, because their goal wasn't to take them out. They still view them as somewhat of allies, and not, at least they don't view them as enemies, just impediments to getting to Zemo. But yeah, this Wakandan angle should continue given that Zemo is still on the loose, and all the serum has been taken, so his next move is probably to take out everyone who has this serum, excluding Bucky because he didn't choose to get it. Speaking of Zemo, though, we found out he was a spy in Civil War, but we really get to see him show off some good spy work in this episode, knowing where to go, get information with the Turkish Delight from the kids. He knew it was information that children would have, and knew that they were the likeliest to divulge the information that they needed. And then while everybody was chasing Carly and the Flag Smashers, he figured out the layout of the building and predicted Carly's exit strategy and lay in wait for her there. Definitely an impressive spy. And yeah, upon finding the serum, he prioritized destroying those over killing super soldiers right in front of him. And he almost got every last one too, except the one John Walker pocketed and later used. And yeah, back to John Walker killing one of the Flag Smashers like that. Carly was in the crowd and saw it, so my hope that she gets redeemed is farther out of reach because of that. Seeing one of her own killed so brutally might just radicalize her further and push her to do things that can't be taken back. And it's possible that can be avoided if the United States strips John of his position and the shield, but he's still a super soldier. There's no undoing that. I don't know what they're going to do with the story going forward, but it's fascinating. This show has been really great. Lots of things to unpack, to say the least, but we're almost at the end here, and I'm very curious what the writers and directors, what their visions are and how this will all wrap up. Because these issues of race, inequality, politics, power, the show poses a lot of questions, and I think right now, a lot of people are walking away, or are analyzing it and walking away with very different messages. But for what it's worth, I appreciate this dialogue this show has allowed me to have with all of you, and yeah, I'm excited to see how this all wraps up. I do think it's about time Sam. We see Sam with the shield though. Would love a team up move with him and Bucky passing the shield back and forth, like in Civil War between Bucky and Steve. And I would also love more development between Sam and Bucky. I want this like ultimate bromance thing to happen, and we're running out of time to get there. Though I guess the show can end happily if we see the seeds of that by the end of the series. But yeah, this has been great. Really enjoyed it. One last thing. There was a funny line earlier in the episode when Zemo talked about warped aspirations getting out of hand with the Nazis, with Ultron, with the Avengers. Hey, those are our friends you're talking about. The Avengers, not the Nazis. Well, yeah, of course. But that was amusing. Anyway, guys, this show has been really, really good. I'm enjoying it a lot, so hopefully you enjoyed my reaction. Leave a like, really helps the channel. Full reaction on Patreon in the link in the description below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.